Today marks 35 years since 14 women were killed at a Montreal engineering school in an anti-feminist attack. A ceremony was held earlier to honor the victims and their families. The Prime Minister, Quebec's Premier, and the Mayor of Montreal standing alongside the families at the event. Meantime, outside, 14 beams of light illuminated the sky above as the name of each of the victims was read out loud. A 15th beam has been added this year in memory of all murdered women. Some survivors of the École Polytechnique massacre later formed an advocacy group called PolyRemembers. They have worked throughout the years fighting for tougher gun control policies in the House of Commons. Canada Tonight's Travis Danrash spoke to survivors Nathalie Provost and Heidi Rathjen about their organization on the anniversary of the attack.
Nathalie Provost and Heidi Rathjen join me now from Montreal. Thank you both for being here. Appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
Nathalie, take us back to December 6, 1989. Walk us through what happened that day.
Oh, very quickly, if you agree. We were on the last day of class, and there was a presentation in my class for the last project presentations. And we were at the end of that long afternoon. And suddenly, there was a boy who entered the classroom, a man who entered the classroom, and he shot in the wall just behind us one time. And we were very surprised, but didn't really know if it was serious or maybe just a joke, but it created some kind of chaos. But he yelled at us sorry, it's not always easy. He yelled at us and separated the boys and the girls in the classroom, so saying, boys go to the left and girls to the right. And we were not quick enough, so he shoot it again. And he yelled after the boys to get out. And it's not clear in my mind, but he told us then that we were there because we were feminists. And I know that I answered back that we were not feminists, that we were just students. And if he wants, he could study with us. But I don't think he never listened to my answer, and he began to shoot my classmates.
What was going through your mind in that moment? I mean, I imagine you can still remember it clearly like it was yesterday, this vivid experience in your life. But what do you remember what was going through your head in that exact moment, what you were thinking about?
I didn't believe what was happening. It was so incomprehensible, and I no use, no story, nothing in my mind that can explain what was happening. So it was a complete blank for me. Mm-hmm. And I know that I understood what was happening when I saw the eyes of one of my classmates dying. And I knew then how awful what was happening. And I know that my world was collapsing. I knew it then when I saw her eyes.
Heidi, how did this experience, this horrific moment that really changed this country and changed your lives and the victims' lives for forever, how did that shape who you are today and also the advocacy work that you are doing?
Well, I think, I always was I was quite involved in student politics, but this event really woke up the advocate in me. Right away, I got involved to help set up the memorial, to, visit the injured and just work with the student association to do all the things that you wouldn't, that we never thought about, but that we had to be done in the aftermath. And soon after, the students launched a petition to ban assault weapons, and I became the coordinator of that project. And I did become an engineer for a while, but somehow my heart wasn't in it, and especially since the petition did not result in any legislative change. 1 year after the anniversary, the bill that was tabled by Justice Minister Kim Campbell at the time died on the order paper because she didn't have enough support from her colleagues, and it was very modest. And so that's when I quit my job to co-found the Coalition for Gun Control with Wendy Sucure. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did for the next 5 years. So on the 6th anniversary, we did achieve what we thought was reasonable, comprehensive gun control in Canada.
Nathalie, this attack was rooted in gender-based violence. Since we have seen other attacks also motivated by the same rhetoric, the same ideology, how much progress do you think has actually been made on battling this issue in this country?
I think that the major progress we did regarding gender-based violence is the fact that we now name this reality. In Quebec, it took us 30 years to admit clearly and publicly that it was a femicide. It was an anti-feminist crime. So now we name things, we number things. We now have clear data on gender-based violence, and that's a progress. That's not an extraordinary progress, but as an engineer, when we can name, when we can number a situation, we are more able to capture its reality and to do something for it, to resolve the issue. So that's a step. But our world is so difficult in these days, I'm afraid, and this progress is clearly not enough.
Heidi, last question to you. What do you want Canadians, particularly young Canadians who may not have lived through this news, to remember this December 6th? And what's your message to them?
Oh, well, the name of the group that we formed in the years following, which represent the families of the victims and students like, or graduates like Nathalie and students, is that it's important to remember, but remembering comes with a responsibility to act, to do whatever we can so that similar tragedies don't happen again. That's why the families are involved. That's why injured are involved. They have nothing to gain. But they want to contribute to a movement that will prevent other mass shootings.
Travis there talking with École Polytechnique survivors Nathalie Provost and Heidi Rathjen. And their group PolyRemembers released a statement applauding the gun control measures announced by the Liberal government yesterday. They said the move demonstrates true political courage to prioritize public safety.